Moose, and thank you so much for joining me back here. Today I want to talk about my struggle with audiobooks right now. I don't want to say I've never really been into audiobooks because I've only ever tried one. Let me just preface this video with that, okay? But since I decided to start doing BookTube, I figured it would be better if I actually read more. And I know audiobooks are a good way to get in a bunch of books easily, you know. So my commute is at least an hour every day, so I decided to try audiobooks just to see how it would go. And at first I really liked it. I am was listening to rather Uprooted by Naomi Novik, I think is who wrote it. Since it is an audiobook, I obviously don't have the physical copy here, but I'll put like a picture of it right here, what the cover looks like. Let me just say that I am really enjoying the book, and I think that's my problem when it comes to this audiobook thing, is when I really enjoy a book, I want to physically read it. You know what I'm saying? So the narrator in the story does fine, but she's kind of choppy. She reads like not even three sentences, like 3 words at a time, and like pauses, and then we'll read the next 3, and then she'll pause. And I don't know if it's her accent or what, because she does have an accent, so maybe she's not, you know, a native English speaker, which is completely fine. But when it comes to narration, it kind of draws me out of the story a little bit, and I would like for it to be smoother, and I just know that in my head I would make it smoother when I read it physically. You know what I'm saying? So the narration portion is one of the things that really draws me out from the story when listening to it on audiobook. Another thing is the names and stuff within this book, and it might be easier, like if I listen to another audiobook, it maybe wouldn't be as big of a deal. But a lot of the names within this book specifically are unique. Like Neshka is the name of the main character, and Sarkin is the name of one of the other main characters, and like in my head I have spellings for those, but who knows if it's how it's actually spelled. You know what I'm saying? And since it is an audiobook, like I'm just hearing the names and not seeing them in print. So sometimes when the story is continuing on, a character's name will be said, and I'm like, is that this character or is it this one? You know what I'm saying? Like I get them confused a little bit, in a way that I don't think would happen if I was reading the book in physical form. And that kind of brings me to my next point, is I'm a very visual person when it comes to reading and learning and stuff like that, and I've really found that out trying to learn French. I'm in a French class this semester for college, and I do a lot better written French than auditory French. Like if my professor puts something on the board, I can read it and understand what it's saying, but if she's talking to me in French, I get lost a little bit just because I am a very visual person when it comes to stuff like that. And since that's the case, I just feel like I would do better reading this book in physical format. And that's exactly what I think I'm going to do. I might try another audiobook. I don't want to completely knock them and just say that they're not for me, because this book specifically might be a special case, considering it is a fantasy book. It is a completely new world that has been made up by this author. The characters' names are very unique and may get confusing a little bit at times. So I am going to buy a physical copy of this book at some point and read it, because I am really enjoying the story. One last point I want to make about audiobooks is, since I am doing other stuff while listening to the story, I feel like some parts of the story are lost. You know, when I'm driving down the road, I have to focus on other stuff than just listening to the book. You know, I have to watch for traffic. Am I making this turn when somebody else is turning at the same time? Is the light green? Is it red? Like, should I go? Should I stop? You know, that kind of stuff. And so my mind is distracted in a way that it takes away from the story. And if I was reading it in a physical format, I wouldn't get that distracted. You know, when you read a book, you're focused on the book most of the time. You know, your thoughts might wander a little bit, but at that time you realize what you're doing. It's a lot easier to just skirt your eyes a little bit up the page than to pick up your phone while you're driving and push the back button, you know, like go back a couple minutes or something like that. So I get distracted when listening to the audiobooks, and I feel like a lot has happened in the story and I've missed a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? So for that reason, I will be picking up a physical copy of this book. I really enjoy the story so far. I know it's something I would really get into, and even what I do remember from it, I enjoyed it, and I want to read the physical copy of it. That way I can really take in everything and not have to sacrifice either, you know, my driving skills or my, you know, listen to the story skills. You know what I'm saying? I want to get the full effect of the story. And I feel like for this book at least, I need to do that with a physical copy. I'm not going to completely skirt audiobooks. I don't want to completely say that they're not for me yet. Because like I say, the story might be a special case or something like that. So maybe I will try some other audiobooks. Maybe not fantasy. Maybe pick up some classics that I've been wanting to read / listen to. You know what I'm saying? So, but for right now, audiobooks are just not my thing. I'm not into it. I've been listening to the radio. And you know, like Pandora and stuff on my way to class instead of my audiobook. So I just wanted to express my feelings about audiobooks here at this moment. Like I say, they might change. I might end up loving them. This was only my first one that I've tried. But if you feel the same way about audiobooks, let me know down below. If you don't feel the same about audiobooks, let me know down below. I want to know like some tips and tricks that you maybe have for listening to audiobooks. And I know that sounds weird, like all you do is just listen, but it's a struggle for me right now, and I'm not getting what I want to out of the audiobook. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, subscribe down below, comment, you know, let me know how you feel. We'll be back here next time, guys. See ya!